Miss Linda here, and today we're going to talk about 12 mistakes that single successful women make when it comes to dating masculine men. If you're new to this channel, I talk about femininity, seduction, dating. So hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Now, the other day I had this frustrated independent woman saying, why do successful men only like dumb women? And I was like, okay, let me talk about this. So I do have a whole list of 12 mistakes that you as a single woman are making. So let's get started. And the first thing is dating when damaged. Now, the big mistake that many women make is moving from one relationship to the next relationship without necessarily taking a step back to figure out what it is that went wrong between the two relationships and how can they elevate their love experiences. Oof, my microphone. Anyway, so the thing is, many times you will find that if you're moving from one relationship to the next to the other, you will find that you're probably dating the same man, only that he comes in different form, maybe a different height, different size, but he's technically the same man. And it's until you pump your brakes and check whatever it is that you're dealing with internally, probably childhood issues, maybe insecurities, whatever that is, at some point, as a mature woman, you need to be able to do that whole self-reflection process so that you can learn and grow and be able to make different dating choices. Yeah? So hopping from one relationship to the next and the next really is not the solution. There's this thing that everybody says the best way to get over your ex is to get on top of another one. Truthfully, there's nothing as damaging as that. Okay? So the second thing is waiting for Mr. Right to pick you. Now, if you grew up in a Christian home like I did, we were beaten to a pulp mentally, where we were told that you need to wait for the right man to pick you. And this thing, what it eventually does, it puts you at a level where you're waiting. Think about it. Who exactly are you waiting for? And that's how come so many women, especially when they start to get into their 30s, well into their 40s, they become so passive in their dating life. Yes, you're so aggressive with your work, you're aggressive with your finances, your health, but when it comes to men, this whole waiting to be picked up mentality can really be your undoing. Now, it does not mean you go and stand up and talk to every man who's around you, but I'm talking about being intentional with your dating life, having some strategy. Trust you me, I'm sure in your 20s, you probably used to operate like 2 or 3 men at every given point in time in terms of a roster. And I'm not talking about sleeping, I'm talking about dating different men. But chances are when you're well into your 30s, you probably don't have as much energy as you had. Probably you've risen in the corporate ladder. So whether it's true or not, you may say that you really don't have time. But I can also argue with that because I believe you make time for whatever it is that you want. But this whole waiting thing is really a big undoing, and it's something that so many women who are successful, they still have that mindset in themselves, and it makes them very passive and just laid back. Yeah. Meanwhile, the 20-year-old babe is there really busy working on her roster and getting things done, and she's probably like, she's active in her dating life because, yes, you can argue she's at the prime. But as women, we only reach our prime when we start to reach 40s. So really, it's something for you to think about when it comes to not waiting to be picked up by the right man. Okay? Now, the third thing is not setting high enough standards for the men who are entering in your life. So if I ask you, what does it take for you to give a man your number? What does it take for him to set a date with you? What does it take for you to accept a second and a third and a relationship from this man? Basically, what I'm asking is, what are your standards? And so many ladies say, yes, we have standards, but I've seen this thing happening over and over again. Immediately, this one man who comes and he looks like your knight in shining armor, you suspend all standards to the side. I know this particular lady, I mean, she really truthfully on paper had very high set of standards, but immediately this guy came along, and this guy was a well-to-do guy. Okay, he had mentioned he's looking to start dating and is now looking for a relationship. He wants to settle down. Then immediately he goes to tell her that, oh, how about we meet up at some residences? And then he starts to talk about how he's too busy, how he does not like going out on dates. And you know, guess what? This babe went all along with this guy. So I'm thinking, what happened to the babe who used to talk about having all these standards? Oh, I can't do Netflix and chill. I can't do all this. I can't do all that. 2 weeks in, you're already talking about, oh, I'm in love. And I'm thinking, what has this man really done? Where are your standards? Do not suspend your standards for any particular person, especially men, if you're seriously looking to get committed, yeah? Now, the other thing is settling for the first man who shows interest. Now, I've seen this happening quite a bit, and especially if you've not dated for some time. Maybe you've been on a sabbatical, or maybe you were going through a heartbreak and you've been waiting to get over your ex. Then probably you've probably gone through this thing called a drought. They call it a drought. So you start dating again, the first man who shows up. Now that's the man who you want to hang on to, like your life depends on it. So the thing is, it's even in the 48 laws of power. Take your time before you commit to men. Probably this is the first man you're now, you know, as you're getting back into the dating game, this is the first man who's shown up. Is he the best man? You don't know. But because you feel like, oh my God, you'll miss out, or he'll go away, or this is your last chance to be with a man, that fear is what just makes you say yes and agree to any man who comes, who you feel has some qualities that you may like in a man. So settling for any first man who shows interest in you can be your undoing. And then the fifth thing, and this one is very interesting, because sometimes, if I may ask you, what exactly are you looking for in a man? So many women do one of these two things. Either they are afraid to actually say that they do want to settle down, because deep down they are fearful and they think that maybe they just may not be able to get someone. And the other thing is probably she really has not really thought about what exactly it is that she wants to do. Now, what happens when you set an intention to do something? The right people, the right situations, the right opportunities line up, because deep down in your subconscious, you've already made a declaration about what it is that you want. So for instance, today, you say, I want to start dating. You will be truly, truly surprised at what starts to shift within your circumstances. Having that clear intent, making that declaration, and then taking positive action towards whatever it is that you want, that's how dreams come true. That's how manifestation works. So, but if you're sitting there not clear about what it is you're looking for, you probably start attracting a mixed bag of men. Yes, men will come to you. They could be married, they could be in relationships, they could be damaged men, they could be toxic men, because you are not clear in terms of your intentions. So not making your dating intentions clear is also another really big mistake that I see many women making. So far we are down to number 5. Let me know in the description box what you think about what some of these mistakes that I'm highlighting. Okay, then the 6th thing is being what I call the forever girlfriend. Now, to me, honestly, past a certain age, this title of girlfriend should stop existing. If you're two mature people, you both have stable jobs, or there's an income that both of you are financially stable, you're mature, you're at a point where you feel that you need to settle down and commit and get married, and you are compatible, it should not even take you up to 10 months, let alone 2 years, for a man to propose to you. And I put the ball firmly also back onto the women. Why are you still being called a girlfriend 3 years down the line? You're over 35, you're going to 40. Why are you still being somebody's girlfriend? I remember I got married young. Yes, you can agree. Yeah, I was not really young, but I was like 27. It did not take my husband a year to propose to me. When a man is ready, he's ready. But if he is stringing you along and you're allowing to continue in that whole dance, please do not blame anybody when things do not work out between the two of you and you end up back onto the whole dating pool. The only thing that you will have is so many lessons learned and a lot of heartache and bitterness, and you'll find yourself struggling even more to pick yourself up when you're in your 40s to start dating again. So this whole being a forever girlfriend, overstaying in relationship is a big no-no, especially if you are intending to settle down and get married. Then the seventh thing is not vetting men properly. And this happens especially when, and society has its pressure, by the way, because there's this expectation where society puts on women to settle down by a certain age. In my time, it was by 25, you should already be in a committed relationship. By 30, apparently, you should already have like 2-3 children. To me, I feel society should not put anybody under pressure. If you are conscious, if you are secure in who you are, you should not let all these other noises come to dictate how you will live your life. Being married for 10 years now, I know that at the end of the day, it is you and your man who will live in that house together. All these people who've been talking into your life will not be with you on a day-to-day to experience whatever it is that you're experiencing. So not vetting these men because you just want to rush through the whole dating process because you feel like, oh my God, you found the one, is also a really big mistake that women make with men. And then the eighth thing is ignoring obvious red flags. What I always say, men are simple. And if you're a wise woman, you will always pick up when a man is not being truthful to you. You will always be able to see that his words and his actions are not matching up. So for instance, you go out for dinner and maybe there's a way he really talks rudely to the waitress and you let that slide. Or maybe one of the days you're hanging out together, you see a text message coming through, maybe you're deep into the dating stage, maybe he's even talked about committing to you, or maybe you're in a committed relationship and you see these messages coming up. The other day I had this babe in my DM telling me that she's engaged to this guy and I think they've just gotten a baby together, a 2-month-old baby, and she's seeing messages on his phone from, I think, a babe who had been an issue in their relationship. So in my mind, I really felt so sorry for her. And in my mind, I was thinking, probably it's not the first time that this guy has shown this side. And truthfully, she told me she used to see messages when they were dating. But look, now she's engaged to this guy. I think they had a bit of an issue. After she got pregnant, then he decided to propose to her. Now they're engaged. And I'm thinking, do you now have the courage to walk out of this relationship? Because if a man is showing you such signs now, if a man is showing you all these flaky signs when you're dating, why do you ignore them until you find yourself firmly cemented into a relationship that you feel like has become your biggest nightmare? So do not ignore red flags at any given point in your relationship. Have a conversation about them. If it's not because there's some things that are non-negotiables for you. It's up to you to decide what can you put up with, what can't you put up with. Okay? Then the other mistake I see, and this should be number 9, is really not loving men. And so many successful women, I think they've become so independent to the point where they feel like, yes, deep down they know they're supposed to be competing, but if you listen to them talk, it's like they still do not appreciate the role of a man. I strongly feel that if you truly, genuinely love men, it will be so easy for you to open your heart up to them. A man is able to read your energy. He's able to tell that, wow, this lady, she appreciates me. And it's in how you carry yourself. It's how you are around men. Are you lighthearted? Are you happy when you're around him? Do you compliment him? I mean, even if it's during the dating stage, is he able to sit down on a date with you and just be comfortable with you? Or is he going to feel like he's at another job interview? So many women are fearful of men. And that fear is what blocks you from opening up your heart and mind towards experiencing each and every man that comes to you. Okay? Then the 10th thing is not really knowing how to date. So the other day, there's this lady, she made me laugh. So she's decided, okay, this is the year she's gonna start dating. Wow, well done. She's almost in her 40s, and it's really taken her a lot of, I think, courage on her part to really, truly declare she's ready to start dating. But then again, I was asking her, do you really know how to date? And she kept quiet. Then she said, I mean, what is dating? All I have to do is just show up and just talk and be myself. And that's the other big mistake. Dating, love is a game. There's psychology behind dating. What men look for and what women look for are completely different. And as a woman, it's up to you to be able to know how, first of all, to inspire this man to ask you out on a date. Yes, you might look beautiful, you might be his type, but are you able to sit through a first date? Be able to sieve out information of, depending on what's important to you? Do you even know how to vet a man? Get to ask him questions in such a way that he will give you genuine answers. Because chances are most of these men, they're already dating multiple women. And if they're dating multiple women, trust you me, they get the same questions through and through. Tell me about your ex. He probably has a whole script written out about that question. Then you come and sit there and ask him the same question. He'll probably just give you a shady answer just so that you get that out of the way. And then he moves on to the next thing. And for men, they're usually very clear. They either see you as wife material or just as sexual interest. And so many women get carved into the sexual interest role because they really don't know how to carry themselves as a wife or as a proper girlfriend ought to be, to carry herself. And dating is a skill. It is a skill, and if you're looking to eventually get married, you need to understand how dating works. Okay? Then the 11th thing is being not willing to walk away from situations. And it comes back to just feel, especially if you feel that you will not get another man anytime soon, there's usually that fear because you're so hooked on this man's potential. And I always say potential is really your imagination about somebody. I mean, I could be a model, okay? Yes, I could be a plus-size model. But am I Naomi Campbell? I can imagine myself into anything. Yes, there is imagination. Yes, we have aspirations. But what's the reality? The reality is the man standing in front of you. And you see, as women, it's something maternal that we have. We look at men's potential, because as mothers, that's what we do. That's how we raise our children. You see your child, you're able to mold him or her, to care for them, to always look at them with their highest potential, because you're raising up a child. But the man you're dealing with, he is not your child. You cannot mold him. You can inspire him, but you cannot mold him. So many women fall in love with a man's potential, forgetting to look at whatever it is that this man is presenting to you right at the moment. Trust you me, if a man is coming to you and he is just a middle-level manager, please take this man as a middle-level manager. Yes, you're tempted to paint a picture of how he will grow and how he will become a director. Yes, it's okay. He is painting you a story. But please, do not paint yourself a picture of what is not already there. And that's why so many women go wrong. You see a man, you already imagine how your life is going to be. But who is the man who is standing in front of you? What has he achieved so far to the point where he's reached? Literally, what is on his table? Like, what has he done right now? Because you're either going to put yourself in a position where you're having to build with a man, and if you're building with a man, that's a very, very hard task. Building with a man is not an easy task. It will predominantly put you in your masculine. You will have to abandon so many of your goals and dreams just to be able to pump all your time, effort, and energy into this man. Then you're left wondering, who is there looking after you? You would rather be the kind of woman who amplifies, who multiplies whatever is already there. Whatever this man has presented to you, if you feel it's worth your time, then at least there is something on the table. And with that, you're able to amplify what is there. And being the kind of woman who amplifies a man requires a very different skill set. Because for a man to come with you already with resources, financing, whatever it is that he's proposing to you with, it means he's a masculine man. He just needs a woman to be able to inspire him, especially a feminine woman, to be able to inspire him to quadruple whatever it is that he already has. So you're already starting from a point where there is something on the table. You're not starting with a man from scratch. Starting with a man from scratch is a complete gamble. And I see so many single women settling. And they decide, okay, so the next man who comes, he looks like I can mold him. Okay, so let's see, because I really want children, let me just settle with this man. And that's the other mistake. Settling for the sake of settling. That's the word, you settled. And if you're a successful woman, because women generally are very responsible people, probably you're way up in your career. So you pick this man. Probably he's not as successful as you are. Immediately the dynamic changes. You become the provider, the protector. You now start your relationship on a very masculine note. A feminine man will sit down and he'll watch you break your back to look after them. Then chances are he'll probably go and pick a lesser woman who will make him feel more muscular. And trust you me, he will be using your resources. So please, do not settle for just any man who comes along the way. And the last and final thing is, when it comes to the mistakes that women, successful single women make with masculine men, is really, truly not understanding how the mental game of love works. Seduction, charm, feminine communication, how to package yourself, how to truly be a feminine woman. That's the other really big mistake I see successful single women making. Not learning the art of femininity. The same way you had to invest your time to go to university for 4 years, go into so much debt, and then work for 10, 15 years to get to wherever it is. And then anytime you sit at a job interview, you tell them, I have 15 years experience of doing marketing. It's the same way. You need to cultivate your personality to become a woman. Yes, you are born female, but to become a woman is a set of skills that you need to cultivate in the form of femininity. And once you do that, you're able to know how to relate with masculine men from that point of view as a feminine woman. Okay? So doors are open for my private coaching. Check out the description box, and I'd love to know what you think about some of these mistakes that I'm making, and let me know in the comments what other topics you need me to speak about. Bye-bye.